Okay, so it's the morning mobility drill. So started off this morning with some lat stretches. So all I'm doing here is taking a bit of a hinge at the hips, slight bend in the knees. I'm grabbing onto a pole, and all I'm doing is pulling against the pole, and I'm taking my chest down to the floor to get a good stretch through the lats. This side I'm a little bit tighter, so all I'm doing here is just elevating my right shoulder a little bit higher, and you should get a deeper stretch into the lats. From here, moving on to a little bit of mobility. So this is just walk down. So if you're not very good at squatting right now, this is an ideal way just to get the movement in. So we'll just guide our hands down the pole, and we're just dropping the hips down as low as we can. We're going to take a couple of pauses at the bottom and just spread the knees apart so they're tracking the outside of the toes. Again, here I'm just pushing out on the knees, keeping my chest nice and tall. I'm just working down for a few reps. After this one coming up, we've got a nice chest stretch, so you can do this one in the doorway. So ideally the elbow in line with the shoulder or a little bit higher. And all I'm doing here, I'm not jamming my shoulder through the pole, I'm just leaning my chest in to get a nice stretch in the pec minor, going up into the anterior delt, the front of the shoulder. Again, I'm just holding this for a little bit of time just so I can feel a bit of a stretch. This is a bit of an activation in preparation mobility circuit for my session today. Again, they don't need to be more than 10-20 second holds, just to start getting a little bit of movement, a bit of length in the muscles, just to wake them up. After that one, I'm going to go on to some wrist mobility. So for this one here, I'm just going to place my fingers as close as I can to my knees, and all I'm doing is rocking my hips back and forward to get a nice stretch down the forearms, get a nice bit of wrist mobility in here. So we're just rocking back and forwards nice and gently, nothing too hard, just to get a bit of movement. Forearms can become very stiff. After this one coming up, now I'm going to do some wrist circles. So I'm just moving around in a clockwise direction for a few repetitions. Again, just moving, just rocking the hips around in a circle and just letting the arms follow. We're going to go both ways just to feel the wrist joints a little bit. And from here, I'm just going to turn my hand over, fingers pointing inwards, and I'm just putting a little bit of pressure down on my hand. So I'm just getting a bit of a deeper stretch on the outside of the forearm, going into the wrist joint. This session here, I was doing some Olympic lifting, so it's really important that getting those wrists in that rack position nice and loose. And then we're going into some lat stretches. So prayer stretch, and we can take it over to one side to get a deeper stretch in the lat again, then into the other lat as well. That's today's quick mobility and flexibility circuit. Hope you enjoyed it. Speak soon.